candidats, c'est Mme Charlotte Goulard Richie. Nous certainement qu'on avant dans quelques activités haïtiennes. M'a pensé notamment par exemple à la question de marche qui qu'on fait dans la parade de l'unité pendant toute année qui sont passées là. Donc lui-même tout, lycée on a candidat yo. En ouais monsieur Sinagin et candidat s'il vous plaît, mettez micro et Robert. Donc encore une fois c'est un candidat que nous gagnons, nous te signalons qu'il y a une douzaine qu'on y a là qui a courir pour maire Boston. Donc nous sommes recevoir avant Bill Walzak, qu'on y a là nous gagnons Charlotte Golarity et nous avons dit que il va prendre nous que les faire cela dans l'autre activité. Donc c'est tout chaud, tout bouquet que les paraît là qu'on y a. We are going to introduce Charlotte Golarity, whom we've seen, I think, in the last Haitian Unity Parade in May. And she's right there with us. Thank you very much again for greeting us this interview.
Comment nous y est?
Oh, Naboulé!
To the viewers.
Sac passé.
Sac passé is right. I'm so happy to be here, Charlotte.
And I learned that you just came from something else.
Well, something else. There's something else and something else and something else. I mean, it's a hectic schedule, 14-hour days, out and about, longer even in terms of preparation for the day, but all good, really exciting.
And the day again is
September 24th.
That's what.
September 24th is the preliminary election. This will be the chance for Bostonians to decide on the top two candidates who should be in the final.
Right.
I'm hoping I will be one of those candidates.
So I know Haitian friends who know you, but for my larger pool of viewers here,
yes.
If people look at you or listen to you now, what in their background might allow them to connect with you, to think that you might be able to walk in their shoes?
I feel that I have such a strong, long-standing, deep connection with the Haitian people of this city. It's not like I'm just trying to speak to Haitian people now that I'm a candidate for mayor. Just think about the work that I've done for the city, working for Department of Neighborhood Development, or when I was a state representative. So I have been in I've had the wonderful opportunity of being able to hire Haitian Americans, to be able to support their aspirations around development, to support our small businesses, many of which have been run by Haitian Americans, and to mentor and support the careers of Haitian Americans who've gotten into politics. I have even gone to Haiti myself, where I was able to, after that tragic earthquake, I was able to join a group of civic leaders and deliver tents and supplies to Léogran, Petit Guave,
I remember
Port-au-Prince.
The news reports.
That's right. Oh, you remember? Yeah.
Right.
So it's been a variety of things I've been involved in. I don't know, it's now many years now, but there was a time that the Haitian Multi-Service Center was not on Columbia Road.
That's correct. Back in 1978 when they started,
they were somewhere, right, you remember they were, right, right. And they were able to raise some money, pull financing together, wanted a new home for the Haitian Multi-Service Center. At that time, I was working for the Department of Neighborhood Development as Chief of Housing, Director of that department. And while my primary responsibility was to create housing opportunities for the people of the city, we had a portfolio of properties that we received through tax foreclosure and then needed to decide what to do regarding the reuse of properties, land, and buildings. The Haitian Multi-Service Center came to see us and said that they wanted a new site for their wonderful facility, their headquarters. And there was a lot of community process. There were folks who wanted some other use, housing or other kinds of things. But we supported the Haitian Multi-Service Center, and they've been there ever since on Columbia Road, right near Geneva Avenue.
A few questions, and we are going to be blunt because of the time constraints.
Yes.
I had a chance to review some key points of your platform on the website. At the same time, there are people, and based on news media, there are people who look at Charlotte Golarity, or she's the first black woman, or she's black, or she's woman. How do people should approach this framing of the candidate, and also think of the fact that there is a platform where there are key issues that are addressed? So how do people actually help people connect to the issues as opposed to the black woman or to the...
And to the color of her skin or her gender, right? Yeah, to emphasize those things. And I do understand there's something exciting about creating or sort of something exciting about making history. I get that. Right? We were very excited about President Obama.
Someone by the name of Tom Menino made it, and that created some waves.
Right. I know.
Right.
But there is more to Charlotte Golar Richie than just the color of her skin and her gender. Right. I am, out of all the candidates, I am the only candidate that has run a city agency. 200 employees, $100 million budget. I am the only candidate that has been a state representative and run a city agency and worked at the federal level as the senior vice president for a national nonprofit organization, working with young people.
Which one?
Youth Build USA. I am the only candidate that also was able to work not just with Mayor Tom Menino, but also Governor Deval Patrick. I'm probably the only, I know I'm the only candidate that was a U.S. Peace Corps volunteer. So I served my country in Africa, teaching English in Africa. I know what it's like to be a visitor or a stranger to a country and then be embraced by the people there.
Which made it actually to another question of mine. Since immigration reform of 1996 or 1997, there have been voices on the opposite side of the issue who have fueled this anti-immigrant sentiment. So what kind of contribution, if any, you think that immigrants bring or would bring to Boston?
So we know that the jurisdiction in terms of immigration, it resides with the federal government for the most part. But as mayor, you get a bully pulpit. You are able to stand up and represent your people and speak truth to power. In this case, it would be to our colleagues in Washington, not the Massachusetts delegation, because they're going to be on the right side of this issue, but to others who may not be fully aware of, how immigrants, this country was built by immigrants, and that we need to embrace people here who are paying their taxes and contributing to our society, and we should get them on a path to citizenship, and that's something I will want to do.
Now, when we think about Charlotte Golar Richie as a mayor, there has been clearly a Menino kind of style, the urban mechanic, the ribbon cutter. What's Charlotte Golar Richie's style as a
Charlotte, you have
mayor?
a lot of good questions, don't you? I love your questions. My style will be very much about leadership and experience, and I think the courage to move this city forward. So it's a combination of things. I think somewhere in there it will also be about collaboration. Again, I think I have a unique set of experiences that I'm going to be able to bring to bear as the next mayor, and I've sort of listed them out, right? Having worked at different levels of government, having served and lived abroad. I don't know that there are many candidates who can claim all of those things. Furthermore, I know I'm going to be the only mayor who's been a mother.
Well,
a wife and a mother.
You just anticipated my next question.
Okay.
And I'm going to reverse myself now and bring gender into the picture.
You may do that.
I know of this woman. She lives in Hyde Park, has 2 girls. And what she was explaining to another friend is that she had to work hard, 2 jobs, leaving home at 5:30 in the morning and coming back at 10. She hired a cab driver to take her kids to a private school. However, she never had a chance to attend or couldn't attend school meetings or parent-teachers meetings because of her schedule, and here she had to keep up with the level of revenue to pay for those students, both high school and college. So her issue is, how do I become involved as a partner with the school to ensure that I support my children? Luckily for her, both children grew up to go to college, become nurse, but she would be the exception because so many children failed because of lack of parental involvement. How do I address this?
Okay, so parental involvement is very important. And as mayor, I will absolutely focus on the schools in terms of issues. You're touching on issues, Charlotte. So it's going to be public safety. It'll be about jobs. Absolutely. It's going to be about housing. but absolutely my administration has to be focused on education in schools. I have a strong commitment, unwavering commitment to public education. My own daughters were educated in the Boston Public Schools. There are 57,000 students in the Boston Public Schools who need a champion. There are not that many schools, though. It's 127 schools in the system. We should be able to ensure that every one of those schools is operating at the highest level. That's what I'm going to expect. And, well, I'm going to have an opportunity, a golden opportunity, to bring in a new school superintendent. He or she needs to help to make sure that the top principals are at our schools, that we have great teachers there, that they're going to have the tools, the resources, the wherewithal, the support to be able to create a nurturing environment, one where our young people can excel and perform at the highest level. And yes, we need to engage our parents. I know that it's hard for a parent to be engaged if they're working 2 or 3 jobs and then have young kids at home, have to make dinner, have to deal with all of the other responsibilities of a household. So if the parents can't come to the school, then we need to take that school to where those parents are in the communities, and we need to get the school out and about. We need to engage in a way that we have not seen, frankly, but that we can create an atmosphere in a way that our parents will feel a partnership with the school. And then for parents who may speak English as a second language, who may be new arrivals to this country and may feel somewhat shy, frankly, about coming into the schools. It's a big institution, don't know people, don't feel comfortable with the language and all of that. We need to find a way to work across cultures and open those doors wide open to our parents who come from elsewhere.
I'm getting stressed out by 2 things here. One, an unscheduled event.
Right.
People are calling here asking to intervene on the phone.
Okay.
We may not be able to do that, but I'm leaving room maybe for if there is a chance for a second interview. But I want to actually address one thing to end. You've been at the head of this agency that has to do with housing. We have immigrants or Haitians living in Boston because they cannot keep up with either cost of rent or cost of purchasing a house. You also have people who don't know about resources available to renovate their houses. How do you address this as a mayor of Boston?
So I mentioned earlier in your program that I was Chief of Housing and Director of the Department of Neighborhood Development, and so I headed up the agency that was charged with providing affordable housing opportunities for the people of this city. That means new construction, that means support around the rehabilitation of housing, that means first-time home buyer classes, supporting those